Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening.
Hold one, Andre.
You're not good at this. Get out. Let me tell you a personal story about Vince McMahon.
You just made the list.
Oh my God!
Sorry, no speak English.
Dummy. Goodbye and good night. Hold two, on bar.
It's still real to me, damn it!
Dummy.
This is the worst town I've ever been in.
Hold three, Lamas covered, three-handle family gradunzel.
Mamma mia!
And now, Unchained.media presents the B Plus Podcast with your host, Greg Unchained.
It's me, Austin! It was me all along, Austin!
Number 4, armbar.
I will never retire!
I still got 200 more. I got 200 more holes to list.
All right, ladies, gents, and non-binary friends, welcome to another B Plus podcast. I'm your host, Greg Unchained. Today is Wednesday. You know what that means. It's time for the King of Sportscast. It's that day of the week where we sit down and we take a look at everything happening in what we call the King of Sports universe. It starts, of course, with New Japan Pro Wrestling, the King of Sports, and all of their affiliated programs. Ring of Honor in the United States, RevPro in the UK, and CMLL in Mexico. I am flying solo this week. There is no Big Boy Mikey, meaning that Big Boy Mikey can no longer claim to have never missed an episode of King of Sports, because he has, and I am doing this one solo, so there will be no coverage of CMLL, because honestly it confuses me. We've been through this before. CMLL can get very confusing for newbies, and I'm still kind of getting into it through Mikey, and with our connection issues, sometimes I don't even hear it till I'm editing, so it is what it is. But we're gonna take a look at some things that happened in Ring of Honor this week, some things that happened in RevPro, and we're gonna take a quick look at the Honor Rising cards. We already looked at the Honor Rising cards because they were announced as we were recording last week. So as we were recording, Mikey pulled them up and was like, "Hey, look, there's Honor Rising cards. Let's talk about these," and threw our whole plan out the window with what we wanted to talk about. But I'll do a quick recap of what's happening at Honor Rising, and of course New Japan Road, which is happening. Those are all happening this coming week. So before we talk again, there will be New Japan Road and Honor Rising. So I'm going to take a look at those. But first, let's start in Ring of Honor. The only results to speak of this week in Ring of Honor are for Ring of Honor TV. Show started with Luchasaurus versus Chris Sabin versus Rhett Titus versus Shane Taylor versus Kenny King versus Flip Gordon. Okay, I mean, the action in the match is good, of course, but random match is random. It was very random indeed. Flip Gordon almost gets the pin on Shane Taylor at one point. Kenny King pulls him off, hits him with a chair. So the referee, it's referee's discretion, of course. He could have ended the match right there. Instead, he decides to eject Kenny King. Kenny King goes to the back, and Shane Taylor ends up picking up the win over Rhett Titus with the greetings from the 216. Match seemed kind of pointless. There was no contendership on the line. Nothing was happening. There was no story to it whatsoever. It was just a match. Like, here's 6 guys that can go. Watch them go. Very fun. Then we get Marcus Cross and Griff Garrison taking on the Bouncers. Marcus Cross and Griff Garrison, of course, are 2 of the Future of Honor guys. Marcus Cross, I think, is the one that looks like a Dragon Ball Z character. Griff Garrison is the other one. The Bouncers win this one with the last call. Pretty easy tag team jobber match. Then we get the main event of the evening. The Briscoes are set to defend their World Tag Team titles against Best Friends. Trent Beretta, for whatever reason, was not able to make it. There were personal issues. I believe it may have been something to do with family. And so Chucky T calls on his good friend Colt Cabana to step in his stead. Pretty good tag match. Standard Briscoes match. Briscoes play dirty. Briscoes win. After the match, Briscoes attack and put Chucky T through a table. And the announcers are left saying, "This is not my Ring of Honor." So it's still building up that whole Plague versus Lifeblood stuff. Then we get a recap of the Lifeblood reveal. This is like the 5th time we've seen it at this point. And Jay Lethal comes out. Jay Lethal says there's a lot on his mind. He lays his title down and he starts talking about Ring of Honor deteriorating in front of his very eyes, with guys like Bully Ray and the Briscoes doing whatever the hell they want. not upholding honor as Ring of Honor is supposed to. Basically cuts a Lifeblood promo. Says that worst of all, of course, there's a guy walking around claiming to be real world champ. He says dark days, but he's going to make sure it changes in 2019. Q, Juice Robinson, and all of Lifeblood, they come out, say they feel the same way. Jay says he doesn't want to join a group, and Juice says, it wasn't an invitation, buddy. I thought that was really nice. They obviously want to build up to Juice versus Jay Lethal. I think that's going to be an amazing marquee match for them. So, yeah, Jay Lethal puts all of them over, talking about how great Tenille Dashwood is, how she should be Women of Honor champion if it wasn't for her injuries, talking about how fantastic, Mark Haskins is. He flew all the way to the UK and had a match with Mark Haskins, and it was amazing. He puts them all over, and then Juice says, well, look, if you say there are more guys out the back who want to put Honor on the map, I challenge you to find 4 of those guys, and let's have a match next week. So, Jay Lethal agrees. We're going to get Jay Lethal and 4 other guys versus Lifeblood, so that's very exciting, and it should be a good match. In other Ring of Honor, that was it for TV. That was it for Ring of Honor TV this week, and there's been no other events. There's not really anything major other than TV happening in Ring of Honor until the 17th anniversary on March 15th. We've had a couple of match announcements for that. Roosh vs. Bandito will be taking place at that 17th anniversary show, as will Jay Lethal and Matt Taven for the real world title. Not the real world title, but the actual Ring of Honor. This is confusing. The real world title is what Matt Taven calls his title, but the real world title is the Ring of Honor world title. I don't know. They're fighting for a title. Jay Lethal and Matt Taven, 17th anniversary on March 15th. But until March 15th, there's not really a whole lot going on in Ring of Honor, so let's jump across the pond and take a look at RevPro. They held their big high stakes card this week, and ironically, none of the stakes were very high. There was like one title match on this card, and just didn't feel like a big card at all, but it was turned around very quickly. So the show took place on the 15th of February, and on the 17th of February, boom, 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 there it is on RPW On Demand, rpwondemand.pivotshare.com. Go there. They have a 7-day trial at the moment. If you sign up at the moment, you get a 7-day trial. You get to watch this show for free. There's no reason not to. They're a solid promotion. You can comb through the back catalogue if you want. A lot of our Aussie Graps guys have been over there in RevPro. Adam Brooks did a stint there. Jonah Rock has shown up there. There's all sorts of great stuff you can find there. Of course, Aussie Open are staples. And we've got the high stakes show, which you can watch for free. And the main event, of course, for this one is Ospreay vs. Park. It's at York Hall. It was a big, hyped up match. Big fight feel. Really good. We'll get there. The show starts with Josh Bodum defeating Angelico and Helico. And Helico kicked the shit out of Bodum. It was nice. Bodum gave as good as he got, though, and ultimately Shah Samuels distracts the referee in the end, which gives Bodum the advantage. He picks up the win. We then got Team White Wolf defeating the besties in the world. Really good match. A-Kid took the heat. Romo got the hot tag. Hits the comeback. Tables get turned, and White Wolf are in control over Vega now. Then he tags into Fitchett, who had a really hot run. Crowd went nuts for him. Romo gets the win, only to get beaten up after the match by Bodum and Samuels, who are still hanging around like a bad smell. Then we move on, and Zoe Lucas actually had a video package. She's calling her title Bay. She's doing the Tommaso Ciampa Goldie thing, right? How he's in a relationship with his title and posting Valentine's Day statuses to his title. Zoe Lucas is doing that. Her Undisputed British Women's Championship is called Bay. I'm very high on Zoe Lucas. I enjoy her work. So she's in love with her title, and she's going to defend it against Bea Priestley, who is replacing an injured Sami Zayn. So Sami Zayn was supposed to get this match after winning the Queen of the Ring, but she unfortunately went down with injury, so Bea Priestley replaced her. This match was okay. Didn't really get to where I wanted it to go, though, because it just kind of ended. Zoe Lucas did a feet on the rope spot. The ref was looking right at her feet and still counted the 3. It was kind of a weird ending, but because her feet didn't even go on the ropes properly. They just sort of kicked the ropes and fell and then tried to go back up, and the ref's looking right at her feet being like, I'm just gonna keep counting because I don't know. I'm bad at my job. So Zoe Lucas retains the championship over Bea Priestley. Bea Priestley, by the way, who has improved in leaps and bounds, and I'm really enjoying watching her improve and watching her come along as a worker, because she's really becoming a solid worker, and I'm very excited to see where she goes, what happens with her. There are, of course, rumors. WWE were interested, All Elite Wrestling are interested, so I'm very curious to see where she winds up in this whole new era of 2019 wrestling. Then we get probably the biggest disappointment on the card, CCK and Aussie Open. These two can have an amazing match, and they just didn't for whatever reason. CCK kind of wasted 1 million hours deciding who was going to start the match, and it just bored me. It just frustrated me. I'm just like, hurry up and start the match, for crying out loud. Yeah, it just wasn't amazing. It wasn't as good as the two teams can do. So there was a stretch of false finishes that was pretty exciting. Gresham ends up pinning Kyle Fletcher with... The referee was distracted. Gresham rolls up Fletcher, and you get like a 5 count, like a visible like 5 count, before the ref gets back to paying attention and makes the count. And then he counts 3, and the match is over. So Kyle Fletcher looked like an absolute idiot because he fell to a roll-up that lasted for like 8 seconds. It's really bad. Like, these guys are going to challenge for your titles. You know, Aussie Open should be getting heated up for the title match. They should be picking up wins, but this happened instead, and it kind of frustrated me. And I'm not normally one to nitpick at the booking on indie shows. Like, I normally just go along for the ride, and, you know, RevPro do good work, and I'm quite a fan of RevPro, but this baffled me. I want to see Aussie Open look stronger than this. Going down to a roll-up on an 8 count is kind of frustrating. Especially, like, if it was, you know, someone big. But, I mean, Jonathan Gresham is smaller than Kyle Fletcher. You want to tell me Kyle Fletcher can't power out of a roll-up after 8 seconds? Man, I don't know. It bummed me out. But MJF picked me back up. Comes out and trashes the crowd like only MJF can do, talking about being rich and how none of the people in the crowd are able to please their spouses. He has a match with El Phantasmo, which, you know, I mean, MJF is known more for his mic work, and that's where he gets over. But the match was good. There was nothing wrong with the match. El Phantasmo indicated that El Phantasmo picks up the win, and he indicated that he's going on to face David Starr for the title, so that's going to be very exciting. We then get MK McKinnon defeating Kip Sabian. No story here. There's another filler match. Great O'Khan was supposed to face MK McKinnon. I have no idea why he didn't. People were thinking this was going to be where MK McKinnon finally, you know, he has Great O'Khan's number, and we thought that this was where he would finally pick up the win and end Great O'Khan's streak, but somehow Great O'Khan got out of the match, and I don't think it was even mentioned. I'm not too sure. I was dealing with kids at the time as well, so I didn't pay too much attention to the commentary. Maybe they did mention why Great O'Khan was not in the match, but Kip Sabian ended up in there, and yeah, half paid attention, unfortunately, to this match, but it seemed pretty average. I just wasn't excited for it, and it filled that little lull spot. Not that the previous stuff was that exciting, but before Ospreay Park, and of course the main event, Ospreay and Park, it was a big fight feel. This match felt huge. The crowd were electric, dueling chants back and forth for most of the match. You know, both guys are super over. Park's playing the heel, but he's still getting cheered by half the crowd anyway, because, you know, it's England. They're going to do what they want to do in those crowds. So they brawl outside. Park hits a moonsault onto Ospreay. Ospreay used like everyone else's finishes ever. So he busted out Marty Scurll's finger break spot, the Styles Clash, the Matt Sydal's shooting star press, the moves from Ricochet. Basically everyone he's faced in York Hall, he busted out moves of theirs to try to get the win, but Park just kept kicking out, kept coming back. They did a double down off a superplex, and then out comes CCK. Because reasons, they attack Ospreay. They go to use Park's title, which pisses him off, so now Park and Ospreay are teaming up against CCK, and then Aussie Open come down to get them out of there, and the match continues. There was a really weird little interlude. I don't know why they did that, it was just overbooked to shit, but, you know, it is what it is. Match continues. It really peaks here. All the flippy shit, Spanish flies, crazy flips. Park hits Ospreay in the junk. Doesn't get DQ'd even though the ref sees it. Refs aren't doing a good job in RevPro at the moment. Refgate 2019. Park goes up top after the low blow. Goes up top, and you think he's looking for the black arrow, but he just lets the clock count down. So they're almost at the 30-minute time limit, and he lets the clock count down. They go to the time limit draw. It was a really odd finish. There were no stakes, even though the show was called High Stakes. It wasn't a bad show. It just kind of existed. And a lot of the ring work was great. I quite enjoyed the women's match, except that it ended quite short. The main event was really fun, except for the shenanigans and the non-finish. But I mean, I feel like the non-finish, it plays in with the Zack Sabre Jr. non-finish as well, and I think they're going to lead to a triple threat for Zack Sabre Jr.'s title. I think that's where it's going, and I'm excited for that. So I hope that's where it's going, because that's what I want to see. RevPro also held a live show at Southampton on the 17th of February, and that one went up onto RPW On Demand on the 18th. I have yet to watch it. I fired it up and I was like, oh, I need to actually record. So I haven't watched it yet, but I will be watching it after I finish this, which doesn't help you at all. And I looked for results so I could just run down the results and be like, oh, I'll tell you what it was like when I actually watched it, but I couldn't find the results. So, sorry. I guess we'll talk about the live at Southampton show next week once I've had a chance to watch it, because like I said, with New Japan Ring of Honor, things are really light at the moment, so I can definitely focus on more RevPro stuff. If you guys want to hear more RevPro stuff, maybe we can, let us know in the comments and stuff, shoot us a message, and we can maybe review some old RevPro shows even. If there's something you want to see us do, hit us up. You can always, of course, if you want to directly tell us exactly what you want us to do, you can go to patreon.com/theb+, where you can sign up for, on the $10 tier, you're going to get custom episodes. The $5 tier, you get all the ad-free and everything. You can also join us for call-in shows. For as low as, I think it's $3, you're going to get lifetime access to our Discord. So you can sign up for 1 month to get in on the Discord, to get in on the chats, and then, you don't have to keep paying. But, of course, anything you support us with helps. It all goes into growing this platform, growing the B+, where we watch global, support local, because we're all about the Aussie Graps here. We're all about getting around the people around you and building everyone up and making the scene bigger and better. And that's what we want to do. So if you want to help us do that, hit us up on patreon.com/theb+. You can also support us by checking out our sponsors, All Aussie Travelers. They're looking to send you to WrestleMania in style. I'm not going to cut to ads here. I'm just going to do them because I'm sitting here with a microphone and I may as well do them. I'm flying solo. I make the rules now. All Aussie Travelers, they want to send you to WrestleMania, man. $6,500, and they're going to give you VIP suites for NXT, for the Raw after WrestleMania, Rawslemania, as they call it. Return flights and, hotel packages. They've the whole 9 yards, man. They're really looking after you. This is their first time running a wrestling package, and they've only got a couple left. As we're very close now. We're only like 46 days or something away from WrestleMania, so you're cutting it tight, but if you got $6,500 lying around, hit up All Aussie Travelers on Facebook. Tell them that the B+ sent you and you want to go to WrestleMania and, check out WrestleMania in style, a way no one else can do it. You can also support us through Threadbox. Threadbox, of course, are a men's subscription service for clothing. How does that work, you ask? It's pretty simple, man. You just tell them what kind of clothes you like. Do you like plain? Do you like flashy? Do you like patterns? Do you like colors? Do you like print designs? What do you like? You let them know. Do you like tight jeans? Do you like skinny jeans? Do you like slim fit? Do you like... I feel like those are all the same. Tight, skinny, slim fit. There's also... What are the other ones? I don't know, bell cut? I don't know, man. But they have all the options there. And you tell them what you like. And you get in touch with a stylist by email. And if they ever send you something you don't like, you send it back. They're going to cover the cost. They're going to send it back to you with something new in the next box. It's fantastic. For the $150 box, you get like $200 plus worth of clothing. For the $40 box, you get $60 plus worth of clothing. It's well worth it. Their mission is to help you look good without needing to go through all that hassle of going to the shops, trying things on, dealing with the crowds. It's really awesome. Once a month, you'll just get that box to your door, or you can do it seasonally. You can get like seasonal boxes where they send you 2 seasonal outfits every 3 months. It's a really good deal as well. So get around at threadbox.com.au, use the code TheB+15 at checkout. You'll get 15% off your first box. You can also, of course, support us with the Muscle Hustle app. Click the link in the show notes to download the app. If you put in the code TheB+, you're going to get some goodies there as well. It's a really fun game to play. I've been playing it a bit. I've been building up my roster, collecting all the championships. I still haven't even touched the multiplayer, man. I'm going to have to get to the multiplayer soon. But yeah, Muscle Hustle's really fun, and they're taking care of us. They're going to take care of anyone who listens to the show. Just the B+ in the promo code section, and you will get some goodies there to help you build up your team so that we can face each other. 1v1 me. 1v1 me, guys. Bring it on. I should probably put my like game code thing so that I can get into the multiplayer. But there it is. Those are the best ways to support us. And let's move on now to the last thing we're going to talk about on the King of Sportscast this week. New Japan Pro Wrestling. Not a lot going on at the moment. We have this week coming up New Japan Road and Honor Rising. Honor Rising, of course, sees a lot of Ring of Honor stars head over to New Japan Pro Wrestling to put on some shows in Korakuen Hall. So it's going to be an exciting one. Let's have a look at the match lineups. Now, last week, of course, we talked about Jay White's big win in Osaka at New Beginnings. So if you want to go back and listen to that, listen to us gush about how great Jay White is. Jay White, though, not on this tour, not on New Japan Road, not on Honor Rising. Bit of an omission. This is something that pissed a lot of people off with Kenny Omega, right? He won the title, then he wasn't on the smaller shows. He was only showing up for the A shows, which, to be honest, I'm a fan of this. I like this. You keep your champion special. He's your champion. He should be special. You know, I don't like the whole WWE on TV every week. I mean, it shouldn't be as rare as Brock Lesnar, where you show up once or twice a year to defend a title. That's ridiculous. But keep the champion special, man. I see no problem with having Jay White take a little bit of time off, have this tour off. He did the G1, right? Killed himself there for you. He's killed himself winning the title, going through all the New Beginning tour, and I think that he's earned a break. He has become the champion. He has climbed to the top of the mountain. Let him rest. Let him rest until he's needed for that big defense at Madison Square Garden. I see no problem with this. Anyway, a lot of people are complaining about it, so I thought I'd comment. Now, let's look at New Japan Road. Thursday, this one takes place in Japan at 5:30 p.m. Oh, sorry, 6:30 p.m. in Japanese time, which makes it, I think, about 8:30 here. Don't quote me on that, but this one will be on New Japan World, of course. Yuya Uemura teams with Jushin Thunder Liger to take on the team of Robbie Eagles and Taiji Ishimori. That's right, our very own Robbie Eagles is once again representing the Bullet Club in his tag team with Taiji Ishimori in Japan, including matches in Korakuen for the Honor Rising cards, which is fantastic. So yeah, he's teaming up with Taiji there to take on Jushin Liger, who, of course, he tapped out in his debut. I want to see Robbie Eagles get another victory over Jushin Thunder Liger to sort of lead into a one-on-one at the Best of Super Juniors. That's what I want, because I want Robbie Eagles at Best of Super Juniors, and I want him and Jushin Thunder Liger to face off, round one of the tournament and have it just be epic. That's what I'm looking forward to. But yeah, he's Jushin Thunder Liger teaming with Yuya Uemura in this one. Then we get a couple of tag matches. We get Tiger Mask, Toa Hanare, Tomoaki Honma, and Togi Makabe taking on the team of Yota Tsuji, Ren Narita, Manabu Nakanishi, and Satoshi Kojima. Moving on, we get Yoshihashi and Tomohiro Ishii taking on the team of Shota Umino and Yuji Nagata. Then we get Sho and Yo taking on El Desperado and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. That's a good one. That's, these guys have matches all the time. It's going to be fantastic. Raisuke Taguchi and Hiroki Goto team up to take on Taka Michinoku and Zack Sabre Jr. Will Ospreay is teaming with Hiroshi Tanahashi. Is Hiroshi Tanahashi a part of Chaos now? Is that official? I don't know. He's got the red hair. I'm just saying. So Ospreay and Tanahashi take on Davey Boy Smith Jr. and Lance Archer. Killer Elite Squad. Still not spitting on the crowd. And in the main event, it's the Takashi Iizuka retirement match. Toriano, Hiroyoshi Tenzan, and Kazuchika Okada taking on Taichi, Minoru Suzuki, and Takashi Iizuka. I think a lot of people want Takashi Iizuka to sort of snap out of his craziness, and maybe they dump him on his head one time. he snaps out of the maybe they dump him on his head one time, and I don't know, that's bad. He snaps out of the crazy. That's what people are hoping for. He's going to snap out of the crazy, give his retirement speech, and walk off into the sunset, a happy old man. I don't know. I think it sounds feasible. It makes sense, right? You don't want him to retire mentally ill and have him go to the crazy home, but that's always a possibility as well, because he's been pretty crazy for a while now. Takashi Iizuka retirement match. Generally speaking, you got to think Iizuka's going to take the pin here, but I can't see Yano or Tenzan putting the pin on him, so probably Okada retiring Iizuka with grace, and Iizuka going out on his back. And so that's on Thursday, New Japan Road, the retirement of Takashi Iizuka. And then we move on to Honor Rising Night 1 on Friday night. This one's taking place in Korakuen Hall. Ren Narita takes on Marty Scurll. Shota Umino takes on Zack Sabre Jr. The team of Jonathan Gresham and Jushin Thunder Liger take on Robbie Eagles and Taiji Ishimori. Once again, Eagles and Liger opposite each other. Also, Eagles and Gresham. Eagles and Gresham have a lot of history. These guys have trained together way back in the day, so that's going to be amazing to see Gresham and Liger versus Eagles and Ishimori. Then we get Toa Henare, Tomoaki Honma, David Finlay, and Juice Robinson. So kind of a Great Bash heel at New Japan Lifeblood mashup. Taking on the team of Tangaloa, Good Guy Tamatonga, Mark Briscoe, and Jay Briscoe. That's going to be a fun one. The Briscoes and G.O.D. Gotta pick them here. Right? Oh, I know, Lifeblood, man, Lifeblood. But yeah, G.O.D. and the Briscoes, that's gonna, they're gonna get up to some shit in that match for sure. Then the never open weight 6-man tag team titles are on the line as Raisuke Taguchi, Toriano, and Togi Makabe take on Cheeseburger, Delirious, and Colt Cabana. Holy crap. This match is going to be fun. Toriano and Raisuke Taguchi with Colt Cabana, Cheeseburger, and Delirious. I mean, Togi Makabe's there too. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, these guys have some comedy chops. This match is going to be really fun. Then we also will see a never openweight championship match between Will Ospreay and Dalton Castle. I am terrified for Dalton Castle. We talked about this last week with Mikey. Dalton Castle has not been the same since his injuries. He's really lost 3 or 4 steps since coming back. And yeah, Will Ospreay should bring out a good match in him for sure. Will Ospreay's amazing, but I worry about Dalton Castle. Then we get the ROH World Television Championship match. Jeff Cobb defends against Hiroki Goto. Last time these guys met was at the CEO, whatever it was called, the electronics, the esports convention thing that Kenny Omega hosted a wrestling show at. And this was for Hiroki Goto was the never open champion at the time, and he defended against Jeff Cobb. So now Jeff Cobb is defending against him with the ROH TV title. Pretty awesome. And then an incredible 6-man tag main event. Jay Lethal, Kazuchika Okada, and Hiroshi Tanahashi. Talk about aces taking on the Kingdom. They're the Kingdom. I'm a big fan of the Kingdom. No one else is excited about this match, but I think this match is going to be amazing. I'm a huge fan of Matt Taven's Kingdom. A lot of people think that it's not as good since Adam Cole and Mike Kanellis went on and moved on. Sorry, Mike Bennett moved on and did their own thing. But I am a big fan of Matt Taven's Kingdom, and I'm looking forward to seeing them take on the Aces. Jay Lethal, Kazuchika Okada, and Hiroshi Tanahashi. That's night 1 of Honor Rising. On night 2, Yota Tsuji, Ren Narita, and Shota Umino take on the team of Cheeseburger, Delirious, and Colt Cabana. That's a big fall down the card. They go from facing for the titles to facing off against the Young Lions. Got to think they're not going to be champions. Just, putting that out there. Then we get Toa Henare and Jonathan Gresham against Taka Michinoku and Zack Sabre Jr. Marty Scurll goes one-on-one with Robbie Eagles. Huge match. This is probably Robbie Eagles' biggest match in New Japan. It's happening at Korakuen against Marty Scurll. That's amazing. I'm really looking forward to this one. They're definitely gearing up for Robbie Eagles to enter Best of the Super Juniors. They gotta be, because they've got some holes in that junior division. With Kushida gone, obviously with Hiromu injured. They've got some holes there to fill, and Robbie Eagles is just the man for the job. Very excited for this one. I hope Robbie Eagles picks up a win. It's a long shot, I know, but Marty Scurll is potentially on his way out. We don't know. We all assume he's going to go to All Elite Wrestling. I still think WWE is a possibility as well, with his girlfriend obviously signed to NXT. But either way, Marty Scurll feels like he's wrapping up Ring of Honor in New Japan. So I'm looking for Robbie Eagles to pull out the shock victory, shock the world, and make a name for himself at Korakuen Hall this week. Will Ospreay and Hiroki Goto take on Dalton Castle and Jeff Cobb. Shingo Takagi teams up with Tetsuya Naito, LIJ taking on half of the Kingdom, Vinny Marseglia and Matt Taven. Then we get an ROH World Championship match. Jay Lethal defends against TK Orion. And an IWGP Tag Team Championship match. Sonata and Evil, of course, taking on Tama and Tonga in their second defense of their reign. We then get an ROH Tag Team Championship to close out the show with Lifeblood taking on the Briscoes. And I think Lifeblood could potentially win this. In Japan, it's kind of Juice Robinson and David Finlay's home soil, as it were. And the Briscoes are not. I really think it's possible that we see new Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions coming out of Honor Rising, and that's it. That's the weekend, man. I think the cards are kind of weird. Like, why would you not have the Ring of Honor World Well, I guess the Ring of Honor World Championship match is just against TK Orion, but yeah, they look like good cards. Even though sometimes the match orders seem a little bit weird, like world titles are being defended in the undercard and what have you, but. It definitely looks like it's going to be a fun weekend of wrestling in New Japan. I'm very much looking forward to it. Those should be simulcast, I believe, on Honor Club and also on New Japan World. Don't quote me on that. It may just be on New Japan World because there's nothing really on the Ring of Honor website about these shows. these are kind of New Japan shows, it's an interesting dynamic. But that does it for King of Sports Universe. Kind of a short one this week. They tend to be short ones when we solo cast it, because, there's none of that back and forth, none of that classic banter, the witty back and forth between myself and Big Boy Mikey. Whippy back and forth. Get it? Because he's whipped. Because his missus stops him. No, I've got to stop saying that. I get in trouble when I say that. Mrs. Mikey doesn't like it. We love you, Mrs. Mikey. You're very supportive and amazing, and it's great. If you want to follow us, though, Big Boy Mikey's on Twitter at BigBoy_Mikey86. I am at Greg Unchained on Twitter, at The Greg Unchained on Instagram. We collectively are the B Plus Wrestle on Twitter because wrestling wouldn't fit. The B Plus Wrestling everywhere else. Like, share, subscribe, 5-star review if you like what we do. I've already told you the Patreon details. I'm not going to do it again. You're missing out. We're about to do the call-in show. That's why I'm wrapping this up so quick. I'm going to go do the call-in show that you could be on if you jump on the Patreon. You could be on those call-in shows where we just sort of sit around and shoot the shit about wrestling. Anything, really. I mean, if you want to call in and talk about manga and anime and, toe hygiene, I don't know. We can talk about anything on the call-in shows. It's not limited. You're the Patreon. You're paying. You get to talk about whatever the fuck you want to talk about. And I said I wasn't going to talk to you about Patreon again, but here I am doing it. Like, share, subscribe, 5-star review if you like what we do. Thank you so much for listening.
Hold one. Arm drag.
You're not doing this. Get out. Let me tell you a personal story about Vince McMahon.
You just made the list.
Sorry, no speak English.
Dummy.
Goodbye and good night.
Hold two. Arm bar.
This is the worst town I've ever been in.
It's still real to me, damn it. Dummy. Hold three. The moss covered. Three-handle family conundrum.